guys. It's actually noon, but it feels like it's still morning because when I wake up, then I'm sleepy like a couple of hours. And I forgot to mention that in my last video. If you watched that, thank you. But if you haven't watched it, then it talks about my brain before and after healing from a lot of bullshit and abuse and toxic relationships and betrayal and such. And when I'm in I was in a very happy mood when I made that video. And sometimes when I'm really there's even a saying: if you're happy, don't make decisions when you're happy, when you're sad, and when you're angry, or something like that. I may say wrong, but it's sort of kind of the point. And in my first video, I made the first real talk video that I've lost all faith in all human relationships. I was very, very sad, and that was a very dramatic video. And the next one, the darkness to light video, was me being very happy. So you only saw two sides of the spectrum, because I believe that the world is not black and white. The world is full of colors and gray shades in between black and white. So this is the gray video, or where I'm not too happy, I'm not too sad, I'm just right in the middle. And I feel like I just want to add to the previous video. So in the previous video, I mapped out my brain before and after healing, right? And I only put there very positive stuff, but since I was very happy, I forgot to put the negative stuff that is still in there. So I would like to add to this video, and this video is going to be pretty much about anxiety. If you hear some talking or voices or whatever, this is my neighbor, and okay, nonetheless. Of course, I have had anxiety all my life. And there are definitely psychologists there who would say oh, you're mentally ill, whatever. Or you've been depressed, you're mentally ill, whatever. But I would argue with that. My anxiety and depression, all that started spiraling down from my family, where I never felt safe. I grew up with a very abusive mother, and other family members who were distant didn't believe that was happening, or didn't have time for me, didn't protect me, didn't know what was going on, were ignorant, or agree with the abuser. So I grew up in a very unstable home, where I was constantly scared, terrified of my life. I built up survival mechanisms, coping mechanisms to survive that I'm still trying to figure out till this day how to heal from them, because they did serve me as a kid, but now they just hold me back in life. So one of them being anxiety, which is basically overthinking. That's what I wanted to add to the previous video, is that I do have anxiety. And I just wanted to talk about a little how I deal with anxiety, or what it is, what the anxiety even is. But anxiety is pretty much, a lot of people don't know. They just think that they're mentally ill, and they need some pills, and that will magically solve their anxiety problems. But that's not the truth. Let me tell you, there's no shortcut. Like I like to say, there's no shortcut, but there is a way, and it is the only way, which is healing. And the magic pills, they're just let's just say, if you get wounded and there's a nail in the wound, the pills are just like bandages you put on the fucking nail, and the wound keeps bleeding because the nail is still in there. So healing inside out is the way to take the nail out so the bleeding will stop. And then you can start healing, really start healing. Because if you just manage your anxiety by, I don't know, drugs or drinking or smoking weed or like shopping or keeping yourself busy, then you will always still stay stuck in the same cycle, and you will think like, why cannot I stop those addictions? It's because you have that nail in, and you're trying to put that bandage on the nail that is still bleeding. You haven't healed the wound. So yeah, anxiety is pretty much the prediction of future based on your previous experiences. For example, if let me bring you an example. It's a sad example, but it's a good example. My grandmother lives in my next, like close to my countryside. She lives in her own house, and she had like a stray cat coming to her house like every now and then. And now that stray cat is sort of kind of like living there, and my grandmother told me that this cat didn't that cat was scared when you walked past by her, or like just like if you walked past by her very closely, and she soon realized that she was afraid of legs. The cat was afraid of legs, and then this cat doesn't allow herself to be touched or like stroked at all. She just like puts her tiny paws up and is like, no, don't touch me. But she described this cat to be very, very like sweet otherwise, and very how can I say, very innocent. Like, it seemed that this cat was like a tiny little baby who got thrown out of her home, or I don't know what happened. But when she told me that, I was the first thing that I told my grandmother was, when she's afraid of legs and you picking her up, is because she has very bad experiences, and now she just gets triggered by just seeing legs or just being touched. She gets triggered because she was beaten by her previous owner, and now she's afraid of that happening again, even though my grandmother would never, right? And I just got really sad about it. I've seen people abuse dogs on the street before, and that's really fucking sad. One time, I'm sorry, I'm just getting off the topic, but one time I really thought that I saw one man treating his dog so badly in public without any fucking shame, and this dog started running towards me, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking pick that dog up and I'm gonna run away. But I don't know, this dog was too far from me, and he eventually ran back to his owner. But if I had seen that dog again, and that owner would still treat him the same, I would grab this dog, and I would run to my home, and I would call the animal protection services, or whatever that is called. But that's how your brain works, and based on your experiences, your brain calculates what's gonna happen next, and that's a big downfall for the society, because I have met shitloads of people who project their fears on me. Like, for example, they had like someone who cheated on them. Now I'm gonna cheat on them. And I have had people who just have had mothers who have been very shitty people, and they project their mothers on me. It's like I have had so many guys who I've liked, and they're like projecting their shit on me, and they treat me the way they think like women are generalized. They think that, like, based on their mom, they take the prototype as their mom, and they think like all women think like that, all women are like that, or like, not just that way. It could be like I have met girls who are like, yeah, all men are like that, because they take their father and they project everything they've learned from their father to all men, and then they're like, oh, all men are like blah blah blah, and they're fucking like surprised why don't they find a good man. It's because they generalize and they push like the good men away. The good men do not like, the good men or women, whatever, do not want someone who is sexist. Let's be fucking real, okay? But it's also like this projection of your own experiences, which is in a way valid, but it's stupid. It's just stupid to project it onto other people who have not done you wrong or would never do that. I have met a lot of people who are like project so hardcore that it's just insane. To like, I'm not even exaggerating. That's fucking insane. And that those people are often very dangerous as well. Very, very abusive, very toxic. Like, the most toxic people you meet in your life. Hopefully you don't, but if you have, then you know. Are people who project their own shit to other people. For example, they are manipulative, and they project it on you that you're manipulative. That's also one thing. But anxiety, it's like one time this really bad thing happened to you, someone did this to you, and now you proceed with your life thinking and expecting the same shit. For example, if you watch my like first real talk video, then my projection is that everyone is gonna betray me, and that feels safe to believe that. That feels safe, even though logically I know that's incorrect. Like, not every person on this planet Earth is a shitty person, but it feels safe to tell myself I shouldn't trust people, because then I don't put myself out there, I don't come out of my shell, and I stay safe inside, which is actually another illusion, because anxiety, back to anxiety, now that comes like full circle, this long prequel or pre-story or whatever it's called, that you can't trust others if you don't trust yourself. That's what I was trying to say. That if you still have have a lot of trauma, then you can't really trust. You're not in the position to trust. So the only thing is to start healing those fears one by one, and I've done it for years. And let me tell you, if I started listing them all, that would probably be a book. And yeah, I do have anxiety. I have anxiety because I don't trust myself. Because I've failed myself so many times by trusting other people that shouldn't be trusted in the first place. And that's my toxic cycle that I'm constantly trying to solve within me. I'm not toxic to others, but I'm toxic to myself because I don't let myself trust. I don't open myself to opportunities, which is a big loss for me, actually. because I need business partners, okay? I design my own clothes. I need business partners. I do my own music. I need a team, a producer, manager, whatever. I do a lot of things where I need other people to be involved. I need teams, okay? And I have closed this for me with my trust issues. So, anxiety, in short, is trust issues with yourself. So, you may even, like, let's say I trust a few people in this world, okay? I do trust them, but I don't trust them fully. Because there is still that you're gonna betray me somehow. And I expect something that I do not expect. Being blindsided, because I've been blindsided in my life. I've been blindsided in my life like shitloads, okay? It's like being cool with someone, feeling the connection, feeling that you're solid, and then the person, like, you turn around and they put a fucking knife in your back. So, and I don't trust myself anymore because I've let myself down so many fucking times. I don't trust myself, and I'm again in that cycle of being stuck within myself. And when you don't feel safe inside, you don't have any safe things outside of you, if you know what I mean. 555. Look that up. But nonetheless, there's a quote. I'm sorry if I said it wrong, but so within, so without. So pretty much what's going on inside is going out on the outside. So for example, if you don't feel secure inside, you cannot have secure relationships, or you cannot have like secure anything. You don't feel secure in life in general. And what else I want to say? Oh, you can, yeah, so how to heal it. So how I've been healing it. Like I said, I have shit tons of them had, but this one particular is something that has persisted for forever. And healing anxieties it's easy in theory. So what I do, I'm gonna bring you a random example. This person you're with, let's say you're in a relationship and you're afraid that this person is going to ghost on you or cheat on you. Let's say that. And it's actually a good example because I've never been ghosted on and I've never been cheated on. So, but I've had this fear. And you're afraid that they're gonna ghost you or cheat on you, right? And if this hasn't happened to you, literally, it's because the feeling has happened to you. If you know what I mean, like this feeling of being like shocked. Like someone ghosts you, you don't expect that. Or like someone cheats on you, you think everything is fine between the two of you, like you're cool, and then they do something to you that you didn't expect, right? So this is the feeling. Not that exactly like the ghosting or cheating or anything like particular. It's the feeling beneath. That is your trauma. So in this case, I would meditate, or like I would like put my phone and my computer and everything away, and I would just lay down and just start thinking about it, like when this happened, or like how it made me feel or stuff. And sometimes I would say like it's like 50-50. Sometimes 50% you remember when it happened, and 50% the other you don't even remember that it happened. And that's like a lot of people again tell themselves that there's something wrong with them because they think like they should be happy or they shouldn't have anxiety because they haven't had this experience. But the truth is that it happened to you when you were like 6 months old, but you don't remember it. but this part here remembers everything. So if something happened to you, really bad happened to you between the ages of 0 to 3, yeah, you might not remember it, but it's still valid. The trauma is still there. So know that. If you think that your anxiety is because you're just mentally ill and nothing ever happened to you, rethink that. Because something did happen to you. You just don't remember it. And very often a traumatic response, or like a response to trauma, especially as a very small child, is to forget it. So if you don't remember it, that's fine. You can still continue. If you don't remember the first time it happened, or like it doesn't happen to be even the first time. It could be the last time. It could be a random time when it really hurt you. So if you don't remember it, or you do remember, just focus on the feeling. Just the feeling that you get inside, that shock, or feeling betrayed, or feeling scared, or feeling hurt, or feeling, I don't know, worthless, or feeling alone, or feeling not good enough. Whatever the emotion is, just feel it. And then there's this, like, part of the healing is, I would say, like, 10% is the logic. You should think about it. If you think about when it happened, if you don't remember, that's fine. Because the other 90% is just fully focusing on the emotion. And actually, I know one person who, I think a lot of people do that. I know one person who deals with emotions very logically. They're just like, yeah, I feel like this, and I feel like that, and I feel like this, but they cut themselves off the emotions. So they just talk about them, but they don't feel them. That's not the way to go. Just shut your mind and feel it. Feel it. It hurts. And I'm not gonna say that's gonna be fucking easy, okay? And I'm not gonna say it's gonna be quick. Anyways, when you're in your emotions, then the next thing you wanna do is let it out. So, a lot of times, if that wound or that pain is very deep, you don't feel like crying. So if you don't feel like crying, then take a diary, or take a paper, or just, I don't know, take a fucking secret blog you have on Tumblr and since 2012, and write those thoughts down. Like, write it down. Maybe you even need to retell the story that happened to you. Maybe you need to write down, like, everything that happened to get a better perspective. Maybe there are even false beliefs that you have. That's another topic, but you may even have false beliefs that you have held. And those things hurt you. So I suggest writing those feelings down. But first feel them, and then write them down. Or you can do both. Write it, feel it, write it, feel it. But just make sure to feel them. Not just talk about them. And of course, you have someone you trust. You can also talk to them as well. But I just suggest writing because it's more independent. You don't get codependent, which means dependent on somebody else to listen to your problems. Get used to being your own supporter. Get used to being your own safe place. And then when you start writing those things down, you may start feeling more and more of these emotions. They may start, like, surfacing. And then I want you to release them. And by releasing, I mean crying. Because when you cry out that nail. The nail I was just talking about. You have a wound, there's a nail, it keeps bleeding, you keep putting bandages on, it doesn't work, it doesn't heal. Cry that nail out. And also, I'm not gonna even tell you that it's gonna take 5 minutes. I have sat with my emotions for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, just sitting, doing nothing, feeling. And I couldn't fucking cry. I couldn't cry. I got impatient. I got frustrated. That's very normal. If you're just beginning, for example, this healing path, it's not gonna be easy, baby. It's gonna be the hardest thing you've ever done. Like, some days it's gonna be like you're happy and the next day you're crying on the floor, thinking you wanna die. Thinking you will never make out of this situation. Thinking you're stuck here forever. But I'm just telling you that one thing is in this life that is certain is progress. And that healing is not linear, healing is spiral, or whatever it's called. Healing is not linear, it's just like, like this. If there's a word for it, I'll find it. But yeah, that's how I heal from my fears. Because anxiety is just fears, calculated based on your previous experiences. And I'm not gonna tell you, like, there's some bullshit that if you have some fears, do it anyway. Like, there's the thing, if you have fears, do it anyway. And I'm not gonna tell you to fucking jump off the cliff because someone told you that if you fear, do it anyway. I'm gonna just tell you to use common sense and to use your intuition, which is another topic because I apparently cannot use my intuition as much as I would want to use it. There's still blockages because of my own shit. And I always stress that whatever you do, don't make a decision when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're confused, when you're afraid. Make a decision when you're in a good place. So impulsivity is your biggest enemy when you have anxiety. Just take your friggin' time. Think your decisions through. Write them down, whatever you want to do. But one thing I've learned how to live with the anxiety I still have is to never be impulsive. And if I have some bad thoughts, to just digest them. Because I have misjudged people's characters multiple times. I have painted people from black to white. And I painted people from white to black. And it was just my way of boxing people. It was a few years ago. When I thought that people are just only either good or bad. But now I've realized that people are, like I just said in the beginning of this video, and I don't even talk about skin color. I mean, there are people from black to white, to colorful, to colors, like black, white, colors, gray shades. And yeah. So if you have anxiety, just think your decisions through. And how else I cope with that anxieties, I don't drink coffee. Because let me tell you, coffee added to my anxiety. It added so much anxiety to me because coffee actually makes your brain go like 100 miles per hour. And you may feel like you're more alive and you have more energy, but it's just an illusion. Because coffee takes energy from you. It doesn't give you energy. That's why you're fucking constantly tired. Also, I know that a lot of people heal their anxiety with weed. And I'm just gonna say honestly that the weed is also a band-aid. Like, yeah, you smoke weed if you like, of course. Whatever, if it's legal in your country. I know it's not legal where you're doing this. I know it's not legal here and you're still smoking. Nonetheless, it's a band-aid, baby. It's not gonna take your anxiety away. You have to heal it from the inside, because anxiety is just a sign of trauma. It's a symptom of unhealed trauma. So if you have anxiety, you probably do if you're watching this, then I'm in the same ass boat with you, baby. Because I have anxiety too. And that's what I would like to add to my previous video. What goes through an artist's brain before and after trauma, and darkness to light video, that I do have anxiety. But it's not that often. It's not that bad anymore. It used to be worse. It used to be a lot worse. It used to be like I had social anxiety. Like, I got nervous when I talked to people. Like, I was in the store and I had to ask something. I got nervous. Public speaking has never been a problem for me, because I've been, like, all my life I've been acting, singing, making speeches, like, since I was a kid, okay? So that wasn't a problem, but in my personal life, that was actually a thing. So that's actually funny that I had social anxiety, but I aced my auditions on stages. But nonetheless, I had social anxiety. I had relationship anxiety. I mean, in friendships, in romantic relationships. And a lot of people I think a lot of people didn't even know that I had anxiety, because I'm a Capricorn. It doesn't matter what your sign is, but I have a poker face on me, like, a lot of the times when I don't want people to know my emotions, okay? And that's a lot of times. And I've, like, been with a poker face every time I've been anxious. Like, for example, I'm going on a first date. I'm like, I might be very fucking nervous, right? But I'm just chill. That makes sense why, like, 99% of the guys I liked never believed that I liked them, like, truly liked them. I've had so many fucking experiences when guys don't think that I actually do like them a lot or have feelings for them, etc. because my poker face. But yeah, that's how I've been dealing with my anxiety, just poker face. And also, one thing I want to add is that fake it till you make it is bullshit. It doesn't work, because baby girl or baby boy, let me tell you, I've been faking it. I still haven't made it. Okay, it doesn't work. So healing is work. Healing is a fucking full-time job. It's a lifestyle choice, okay? One day is harder, one day is easier. But that's the way to go. That's the only way. This is the only way to go if you want to actually heal yourself. It's gonna take years. I've mentioned this before, but I started, like, sort of kind of healing since I was 17, and I'm almost 27. And back then I did when I started with mindset and false beliefs, and I started with the law of attraction, pretty much, and that was all good and shit like that. Like I said, like, I would say 10% of healing is your logic and 90% are your emotions. Because the 10% is also, your false beliefs and stuff like that, where you believe about yourself or about the world or others. Like, for example, the sexist generalizations is, for example, one false belief. But yeah, so anxiety is pretty much you don't have the security in yourself because of your traumas, your false beliefs, etc., etc. And to really heal the anxiety, you have to take one by one. You cannot, like, heal 10 beliefs at once or 10 fears at once. It's just like fucking 2021 you feel like one belief, in 2022 you feel like 4 beliefs, in 2023 you feel like 7 beliefs, and etc., right? But you have like 1,010. So that's the harsh reality of life. Self-work, self-healing, self-development, growth. Yep, I guess that's the video. Hopefully my next video is about self-trust, more in depth with that. And yeah, let me know in the comments below, do you have anxiety? And if you want to, you can tell me what are your anxieties about. And I hope it helped someone, maybe it inspired someone somehow. But yeah, anyways, just my lips. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much if you have watched any of my videos for that. And I hope to see you in my next videos. And you can subscribe to this channel, or you can subscribe to my main channel. And nonetheless, thank you, and have a nice day, and stay awesome. Okay, bye.